What is up, guys? Doofus back with another unit breakdown, more analysis, and today we're going to be working on the Zuka.
Welcome to Nova.
The Zuka is one of the best T2s because it has two different directions you can go, right? You can go the Zeus, or you can go the Pyro. This video might be a little longer, because I want to break down pretty much all three varieties of the unit. So, without further ado, we've got Zuka. Impact Swift. Actually does a lot of damage. I've played many games where people just spam Zukas. Right? They just spam Zukas, and it's like, oh, I got him. He's gonna leak bad, and then they just keep holding. Right? Like, this looks terrible. I've never tried this wave 3, but like, I'd like to see what happens. Right? This looks terrible, right? A bunch of T2s unupgraded that aren't Aquas on wave 3. Like, they don't seem this good. Right? But this is like, is it a perfect Fiesta or what is this? I'm gonna have to write this down in my notes. Like an insane Fiesta. Okay, but you see what I'm saying? Like, Zuka's right there. They seem awful, at least from my perspective. Right? I don't understand how they're that good. But yeah. So Impact Swift. If you just see a bunch of Zukas, of course, like a Fiend would be insane. Right? A Fiend is gonna be insane here. That's because the impact into Swift is the worst. Fiends have Swift. You could also do a Lizard, because the Lizard is going to be Pierce into the Swift, right? Pierce plus 20% into Swift. Now, realistically, you're not going to place that many Zukas in a given game, right? Like, I guess you could do some Wild Fiesta at the start, where you're doing like Zuka Steed or something. But I don't normally start Zukas. Like, I may have done my 1-unit challenge only with a bunch of Zukas. So I would Fiesta there. Would try to Fiesta with 3 Zukas, but it's almost impossible. Unless you get a snail, then you might be okay. But for the most part, Zukas are going to be better as just a Zeus or a Pyro. Right? But if you do need impact damage, I don't feel that dropping 2 or 3 is that bad of an idea. Right? They genuinely... Actually, let's look at the codex real quick. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they have like super high damage. I could be just talking out of my ass. 0.6 DPS per gold.
I never run out of arrows.
Alright, it looks like I'm talking out of my ass.
Go with the flow.
So it's not as high as Rangers. Wait, did I just say 0.6? Yeah, 0.6.
Catch me if you can.
0.6. Yeah, so it does. It has 0.6 per gold. It has the most DPS per gold. Alright, cool. So I was not talking out of my ass. Alright, the next orientation is going to be Zeus. Right? The one that I use the most. Zeus has combos with Steeds, Red Eyes, or Boars. Right? Zeus Boars. Magician, the Legion spell. You could do Pulverizer. You could do Star Caller. You could do APS. Zeus is an extremely good unit. Right? You're going for the APS circle. Right? Bam. Beautiful APS circle. Oh, I'm like way over here on 9. Let's try. I think I leak on 11 with no tanks. Right? And you could pull too. Right? You could pull too. I mean, Zeuses are really good for a lot of those spells. So I don't have a single tank unit, but I have some of the best magic damage possible on wave 11. So I'm gonna leak a little bit. But I had 0 tanks, right? I had 0 tanks. Imagine if I had 1 boar. Easiest hold of my life. But yeah, so you could do an APS. I need to type one. Once again, we could add a magician circle to this, right? This is the importance of why you should, if you haven't expired all your rolls and there's a possible legion spell that's useful, this is why when you're building Zeus's, you want to build them in an aura, right? Just in case you do get an aura, you want to build them in it, just in case. Glacial touch, yep. But I think those are the three. Yeah, magician, glacial touch, pulve are gonna be your three big legion spells. Then you've, as I said, APS, MPS, pair them with boars, pair them with Starcaller, pair them with steeds, are gonna be the go-tos. But let's go back to wave 1. So when I do Zeus opens, I usually start him up there. I go 5 workers. I need custom feed. And I'd prefer to have steed, right? Something like this is probably what I'm gonna do most of the time. Right? I'm gonna have my steed super far. Oh, this is wave 11. Surprisingly, I'm going to leak there. Alright, this is like my wave 3. Wave 3 comes, you add a steed in the back. Whatever your cheap T1 is, you throw in the split. You could pro leak, you could full hold, right? It just depends on how much the Zeus tanks, right? So the Zeus is tanking the lizard. Pretty decent split tank here. The steed is sending mana to the Zeus, making his spell go off way faster. The power surge. Look at that. Wow. I mean, it's just perfection, right? Absolute perfection right there. I literally used every bit of health possible, right? 841. So this, and because the steed has its spell, it's actually more damage taken. Let me just look through. There's not another spell I'm missing, right? I don't think you'd ever want to do. You could do the ability damage one. You could do the ability damage one with Sorcerer, but I would not recommend it. I would never ever recommend doing a Sork Zeus. I mean, unless like all the other spells are just total garbage. Maybe it's giant snails and embargo, and Sork, and then maybe you Sork a Zeus. But I'm never gonna do that, right? All right, so that was a perfect wave 3. You are decently weak on wave 4, right? That wave 4 resend can get you, right? If you full push, right? Let's say you full pushed, and you catch another lizard on wave 4, and you went to 7 workers or something like that. You're not amazing on wave 4, right? The only way you're gonna be really, really good on wave 4 is if that Zeus perfectly tanks. Which, I mean, here we actually do have an incredible triple split. But even with that pro tanking, still gonna leak a little here, right? Still gonna leak a little here. Not amazing, right? Maybe if I'm Fiesta, that's okay. But if I'm not Fiesta, we're really not okay with leaking 50%. Maybe Cartel, right? If I'm Cartel and I'm 7 workers, then that leaks okay. But you do got to watch out for that wave 4 resend. The wave 4 resend can be pretty rude. Oh, this is beautiful. We're on wave 5. Wave 5, Zeus is one of the best units in the game. You can pull it out of your butt, out of nowhere, right? Not have a Zeus until wave 5. Because the ability for it to tank. It tanks the boss. Its damage is perfect, right? Bam. Tanks the boss. It lives easy. And now it's just DPSing. Once again, you used its health pool. And now you're good to go. Alright? And that's the most important thing with a lot of these ranged DPS units. Is early game. Right? Just early game. you want to use its health pool as much as possible. Now wave 6, we do need some type of a split. Oh, we're already on wave 6. Right. 2 creeps is perfect. Oh wow. Who's that? Half a tile down from the Zeus. That was absolutely perfection. Absolute perfection right there again. Now we're on wave 7. I'm not so sure I want my Zeus to tank anymore, right? I'm not so sure I want my Zeus to tank anymore. What I would do in game, I would usually just test this split. I would see how good is that split. Because wave 6, it was beautiful. Right? Wave 6, it was beautiful. I up the peg. This should tank 2 or 3. Yeah, it's tanking 3, which is going to be really, really decent. Right? Not too bad. We used a little bit of its health, but this was also to a no send. Right? So if they sent like brutes, I mean, it's actually tanking this blob perfect. Brutes or lizards into my build could make this a lot closer than I'd like. Alright, now it's wave 8, and I'm about to get screwed. Right? Wave 8 right here, there is no chance for me to hold. Right? I'm 805 over here. 805 over here. They send me a fiend or some DTs. Says I'm 105 over. I do have Pegasus, but I have no damage. Right? Like the Zeus is my damage on wave 8, but it's really terrible. His magic and arcane is awful. Of course that was an easy hold because I was 105 over. Alright, so I didn't explain why that was so bad. Why is Zeus so bad on wave 8? Well, the magic into the arcane, number 1. Number 2, it's a ranged wave, right? Wave 8 is a ranged wave. So a lot of people will save up on that wave. And there's the possibility of a Ghost Knight into the Zeuses, right? People love Ghost Knight into the Zeuses on wave 8. I mean, their impact, their magic, they're never killing the Ghost Knight. Right? You're never killing that Ghost Knight. Let's actually even show a demonstration. My good friend Toho is a big fan of that Ghost Knight on 8. Right? Now, even with this split, I'm pretty sure that it's still going to target the Ghost Knight. And never kill the Ghost Knight. 2 Zeuses, 2 Pegasus. Let's see how this goes. Right? We're targeting the Ghost Knight. Finally it's dead. Alright, so I'm actually only going to Pro League. So it wasn't a terrible leak. It wasn't a terrible leak, but that's because I literally have Zeuses and 2 Pegasus, right? But yeah, it's just like a Millennium, right? It's just like a Millennium where a Ghost Knight just absorbs so much of the damage, right? Because the Ghost Knight does have the reduces damage from auto attacks, non-ability damage, right? It's really tasty. Really, really tasty. Fiends do the same, right? If I'd sent 4 Fiends, let's do the same. I mean, Wave 8 is going to be one of your best sends into something like this. You know, it's funny. The Zeuses might even do better. Alright, sorry, the Fiends might even do better here. Oh, man. But that Zeus just keeps tanking so well. That Zeus just keeps tanking so damn well. Alright, I'm gonna need to start Zeuses more often. If I get Zeus Steeds, I'm rolling it every time. This is crazy. I can't tell if I'm like super overvalue or if this positioning is just so good. Like I'm teaching myself how to play Zeus Steed right now. Holy moly. Alright, back to the learning part. Wave 9 Zeuses are okay. Wave 10 is another possible send. like Safety Mole Fiends, Safety Mole DTs, a GK, right? If Zeus's are their main source of damage. 11 Zeus's are really good because of the magic damage. Awful on 12. Don't want to give a sneak peek, but that'll save your ass on wave 12. That'll save your ass on wave 12. Saying it right now. Magic wave 13 you're good because impact, right? You can also even have a Zeus tank a little bit, right? Only a little bit. If they could tank one creep, that is amazing. How to do that? Not easy. 14 complete garbage on 14, right? Complete garbage. 15 really good, right? If you have Zeus steeds on 15, I mean, you're holding your wave, your teammate's wave, maybe even the opponent's wave. 16, go back to those. 17, you're garbage. 18, Zeus's are okay, but by wave 18, you're getting so deep into the game that if Zeus's are your best magic damage or impact damage on 18, you're not as strong as you seem. I mean, you're gonna need like 10 Zeus's, right? You're gonna need like 10 Zeus's at that point. You're terrible. 19, and same thing with 20, right? Even if you have like a million Pegasus, you're really gonna need a lot of Zeus's on wave 20. But yeah, Zeus is a great unit. Great unit, great magic, good early start. The split is very important. The split is very, very important. Alright, Zukas are 67. Seems like I'm not too good with Zeus open. Seems like my Zeus open is 38.5%. Alright, so I needed this learning more than you guys did. Holy smokes. 38.5%. I'm 5 and 8 with Zeus open. Alright. Well, that's Zeus's. Everything I just said, take with a grain of salt. Alright. That was Zeus's. On to the Pyro. Bam. Pyro. Wave 1, full pushing. Wave 2, full pushing. Wave 3, full pushing. Now you can go 5 workers. You can go 6 workers. You can go 7 workers. I like 6 workers. I like 6 worker Pyro. And then you need a great unit right there. Right? Now if it's long waves and you're gonna get hermited or triple DT'd, right? Then you probably should not be 6 work. Right? But normally you go 5 workers, and then depending on what happens on 3, depending what your opponent has, right? The guy sending you. If the guy sending you is Bounty Hunter and 2 Steeds wave 3, then yeah, you can go 6 workers, right? But if he's a Zeus Steed, right? And he might be 6, 7 workers now, you probably want to stay at 5. But right here, this is the most important position. Alright, so I like buzzes, right?
Welcome to Nova.
And I like this circle the best. The most important thing on wave 4, you do not build a split. Oh, it's so heartbreaking to see people build a split. Wave 4, don't build a split. A Pyro is a flower. Alright. I guess I should have told you that. Pyro is just a flower. That's all it is. It's just a flower. It's simply a flower. Right? It is a flower open that you can push a little more. Right? That's all it is.
Wanna turn up the heat?
Right? Each attack deals 50% damage to nearby enemies. Ability damage. I actually never knew that was ability damage. We're going to test that on wave 12. We're going to test that on wave 12. But okay. We get double DT'd wave 4. This split needs to be perfect. He needs to tank about half the wave. Alright? I mean, a pretty solid split tank here. Pretty solid split tank. I mean, just perfection. Perfection, right? Absolute perfection. Pro League. Oh. Wave 44 does not exist, by the way. Now let's just take a look at something. I just want to take a look at something. Because there's nothing worse than having a teammate that splits with a Pyro. Alright, so did kill half the wave. Is it still a hold? See, I just leaked way more than I needed to, right? And I added 20 value. I added 20 value and I leaked. Right? No split with Pyro. Wave 5, you can pretty much shift to anything. Wave 5, you can shift 200 gold. Because the Pyro tanks the boss and just destroys the wave. Right? Like 0% chance of leaking. Like, I guess you could get hermited, but if a hermit on 5 is the play, just not a great one, right? And how are they going to hermit you if they just sent 4, which is normally what your opponents are going to do. They're going to send 4 and then 6 or 7, sometimes all the way to 8. But yeah, if wave 6 you can get something sexy. Some people do bunk, but then you risk leaking on wave. You risk leaking on wave 6 here, right? If they mull you or something, this could hurt. It's almost impossible to split. Oh my god, I actually got the god split. I actually just got the god split here. Almost impossible to have a 3-way split, or even a 2-way split with bunk on wave 6. I got it, but I don't think that is actually replicatable. So let's just pause, talk a little bit. Yeah, wave 6, if your Pyro dies, you leak. Wave 6, your Pyro needs to tank, but not die. So he can't tank everything. So you can't just leave the split the way it was, right? You can't just leave the split the way it was. That's going to be a leak, right? Your Pyro is going to tank too much because it's wave 6. And the consort is not going to save your butt. So somehow you need to like build up or something, right? To where the Pyro still should tank, but doesn't die. Because the Pyro is your top damage, right? Magic damage on 6 is still really good. Alright, here the Pyro's tanking at least 1 creep. It's all good. Yeah, you'd like more, but the importance of keeping the Pyro alive is way more important. Right? Perfect. Perfection. Now wave 7 and 8, you're going to need pierce damage, right? 7 and 8, you need pierce damage really badly. Pyro is no longer as useful. Some games, you'll see a double Pyro on 7. And the reason people are doing that is because wave 7 has so many creeps. So the Pyro ability is going to be hitting all these creeps. But man, is it risky.
Welcome to Nova.
Man, is it risky. Right, not something I would do. Like, just the safety mold. What is just... I honestly don't know. What does just the safety mold do? You decide to go for the double Pyro here. You actually have this Pyro perfectly split tank, right? The perfect split tank. We're either killing everything or leaking everything. Like, not bad. This is honestly not that bad. Honestly, not that bad. But that's just a safety mold. You throw a hermit in there, not good, right? But yeah, the main thing, Pyro, right? We can just go through the Pyro real quick, right? Wave 1, you're good. Wave 2, you're good. Wave 3, you're great. It's a great build with Fiesta, right? Your teammate's gonna Fiesta waves 1, 2, 3. You just need to be ready for wave 4, right? So your teammate gets a free Fiesta. You're never gonna take any king. It's fantastic, right? Wave 4, once again, you need that perfect split. You need Warg, right? Warg is the same thing as Consort. Can Windhawk, can Infiltrator. They're not quite as powerful. I wouldn't recommend masks. Archer could work, right? Archer, you clearly have enough DPS. If you push 0 workers, you could go like a Zerker or Nightmare. But then you're like 4 or 5 workers. You better have been starved from like wave 0. Right? You better have been starved the whole game at that point. Wave 5, you're amazing. Wave 5 is usually when you shift for a Sov, a Bunk, some big unit on wave 6. That's also going to be decent on wave 7. Wave 7, once again, you need some type of Pierce or some type of big unit. Wave 8, your Pyro almost always dies on wave 8. But that is why the importance of like having a T1 on wave 8 will save the Pyro. Right? Because if you're having it perfectly split tank, right? It's a perfect split tank. It's not a perfect split tank on wave 8. Right? On wave 8, that Pyro dies in like 0.1 seconds. Right? It's just dead. So if you can save it, the Pyro is still like a 225 gold unit, right? It's still decent enough to where you want to get that to the wave. But if they send a bunch of DTs or safety mult, your Pyro is doing no damage to it. That's why wave 8 is just such a good send. Normally in the Pyros, right? A Siege Ram, safety mult Hermit, Dinos. That's why you need Pierce damage, right? Wave 9, you're a god, right? Wave 10, worthless. Wave 11 is like a break even. If you get to the wave, you're great. If you don't get to the wave, it's worthless, right? Wave 12, Pyros are amazing. Oh man, wave 12 Pyros are amazing. This is because they're fortified, right? 9, 11, 12, fortified. Wave 13, wave 14, wave 15, all bad, right? As the game goes on, Pyros become worse and worse. 16 is pretty much the only good wave for Pyros as the game goes on. Right? Massing the creeps, right? It's 18 units. Yeah, you have like 8 Pyros. Right? If you just do this spam Pyros, nothing more irritating. Nothing more irritating than the spam Pyros. Alright. Wave 16. Says I'm 430 under. Send full aura. Send full aura when I'm 430 under plus the send. 3,000 value. Oh, look at the Pyros. Look at the Pyros doing all this damage. So, where'd the wave go? Where did the wave go? 3,000 value plus a send. Easy, right? And that's why Pyros on 16 are infuriating if you're playing Chaos, right? Or if somebody rerolls, right? You're like, let's go 16. You save from 13 to 16. They haven't shown a Zuka. They haven't shown a Zeus. They haven't shown a Pyro. Bam. Dude's got 5 or 4 Pyros and you lose your freaking mind, right? I've been there. But they're amazing. If you're the one that re-rolled the Pyros, right? Or Chaos rolled the Pyros, it's amazing. It's going to save your ass on 16. It's going to save your ass. And the last wave would be good is just 21. And the reason they're good on 21, I can't explain. Right? There's only 8 units. But I think it's just because the ability is going on forever, right? Because it's so long, the ability just goes on forever. And like a safety mole hermit on 21 is very rare. But yeah, whenever I'm playing classic, I'll just spam Pyros on 21. Literally have like 30 Pyros. Like if you guys are still watching, we might as well. We might as well do it, right? This is way too little value. I don't think this has any chance to hold. So I'll never be able to kill the boss, theoretically. So I'm 1,600 under. But yeah, so, and it's almost impossible to split here on... You really don't want to split on 21. Yeah, so your Pyros are doing a ton of damage. Sadly, I'm going to leave all of them really low. But the Pyros did do a lot of damage, right? Like, literally, that is no value. Like, that's the value you'd have on, like, 18 or 19. More so 19, right? That may have been a overestimation. Over whatever. This is a classic though. So on wave 18 in a classic, I already had enough. Here's a 19. Here's a 19. 9,000. But I was Sui crossing, so yeah, 8,000 on 19, 7,300. So yeah, so that was wave 19 value, and I almost held with just all Pyros. But I hope this was useful to you guys. Zooks are a great unit to spam. Zeus is amazing with so many different combos. Clearly I suck with them though. But yeah, we're talking Steeds, we're talking Starcaller, right? I didn't even show you guys Starcaller. But it's just the same as the Magician, right? It's just the same as the Magician. The one thing to say though, if you do that, you can't have as good of a split, right? Because the range of the Starcaller is 500. Range of Zeus's is what, 800. So if you had like a God split with that front Zeus, your Starcaller is gonna die. Your Starcaller is gonna die. But yeah, the mana regen on this is amazing, right? With Zeus's, and then you throw a boar back there. Oh my goodness, right? Throwing a boar back here.
Welcome to Nova.
Can I just hold wave 14? This is I'm 30 under. Then we got a unit up front. Let's see what happens. I just want to see this. It's pretty much the worst wave for Zeus's would be wave 14. But I've got the Starcaller, and they're just popping off so fast. Yeah, the damage output is just so much. Yeah. Easy hold. Easy hold. And then Pyros you could do an APS, right? Pyros you could do an APS. You usually want to pair Pyro with like Archer, Daphne, right? Because you need that single target damage. Like yes, Mask for 7 and 8 is great, but then what if they save until 10 on you? Right? You got to think about it. Think about single target with Pyro. Think about the combos with Zeus, right? And think about winning the game. Hope this was useful for you guys. It went a bit long. Sorry. And see you guys next time.